What is up everybody, welcome back to the channel, and in this video I did want to talk a little more about Dakar Desert Rally and how I feel like this game really is a few updates away from greatness. So I'm sure a lot of players are aware after the 1.004 patch finally arriving on consoles, which by the way I really hope that is not going to keep happening in the future. I really hope updates can drop for every single platform. If like the PC gets it, then 2 weeks later console gets it, I think is going to be a bit of a problem, especially if they're going to be dropping bigger content updates and or stuff on the game itself, like more events to play and or new vehicles, maybe even free roam for that matter and stuff like that. I feel like that might be a bit of a problem, so hopefully the patches are going to get sorted out in the future. I really do feel like that would definitely help the car's life a lot, because I feel like this game's definitely going to be in a bad place at the moment, but I do feel like it can get on the right direction after messing with the handling a bit on some of the vehicles and getting them right, and then working on some other stuff with the game like the little bugs here and there. I really do feel like the AI are going to fall into that bug category, because I really don't think a lot of people like them, which honestly you're really not alone. I honestly have no idea what the AI are doing half the time with how they drive, and I feel like they really are maniacs in trying to take you down. So once all that is going to be situated, I feel like the game is going to be in a lot better of a place. But let me know in the comments below, by the way guys, what is one thing you think Dakar Desert Rally really needs to make this game a lot better? Or like the number one thing you think the game really needs right now for it to be a better experience as well? I personally feel like a lot of people might end up saying something like content and or more stuff to do, or who knows, maybe even getting all the bugs completely worked out in the game as well, I think would be a big plus. And to be honest, when I think it comes to content, I would say people really have a good argument there. I mean, there's a lot of events to do, like for example in sport mode, professional mode, and or simulation mode. I do think it's kind of insane that all the vehicles are locked behind sport mode, because a lot of the big hardcore like Dakar players are probably going to want to do professional and or simulation mode, and unfortunately you cannot unlock the vehicles playing that game mode, which is kind of odd. I don't know why they did it like that. I feel like they probably should have put all those special vehicles that you can unlock from doing the races in sport mode and actually putting them in professional and or simulation as well, because I really do feel like some players might want to play a different type of game mode, and that way it actually gives you a reason to do so. And maybe they can make it a little bit different and or do different challenges in the other game modes. There's definitely a lot they could do with that. Now I'm sure a lot of players are probably going to agree that Dakar definitely needs some bug fixes and or some handling changes in the game. But one of the biggest things I personally think this game really does need is going to be more content out there. I really do feel like that's going to help this game's life cycle tremendously, because a game that can release with an auto-saving issue for over a month definitely is not going to help the longevity of the game. I feel like a lot of players probably quit and or we're just not feeling it anymore. Maybe they're like, oh my goodness, I'll come touch this game in like a couple months when more updates come out. But not only that, we're going to need more content and things to do as well. So, which as I did mention in other videos, I would say that probably did set them back with the content having to fix the auto-saving issue, but also probably having a lot more bugs than they really thought they were going to have. So once the initial bugs and or like handling issues and all that, maybe some of the AI bugs are going to be fixed, then they can probably really focus on getting more of the content out there. But I really do think this game should have came out with free roam and more events and all that in the game. Being able to unlock cars, as I did mention before, and or being able to do that in simulation, but maybe making it a little bit different. That way a player could definitely play the game mode they wanted. I also really think if they do stick to the roadmap for Dakar Desert Rally, I really do think this game is going to be awesome in the future. The biggest thing though is, has the beginning launch of Dakar Desert Rally really hurt the future of it? I'm not gonna lie guys, seeing how some games release nowadays is kind of sad to see. I mean, for example, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 released without a lot of things like a combat record and basically only being able to go after camos and stuff like that. And then with Season 1 coming out, you can now see your combat record apparently. They're also adding hardcore mode into the game as well, which I think is going to be really good. But I really do feel like some of the things really should come out with the game, and maybe it needed more time of development, or maybe they could have hit roadblocks along the way or something like that. I kind of want to give them the benefit of the doubt, because I really do feel like for example, the foundation of Dakar Desert Rally is really good. It's just they're going to have to work out some of these bigger bugs and or issues before they can really pump out that better content. Which, as I did mention before, we are going to have that really cool looking roadmap for Dakar Desert Rally. But to be honest guys, one of my biggest concerns is that going to be enough to keep a lot of the players around? I really do feel like Dakar has lost a lot of players, and it's really sad because I feel like this game could be really good and or it's going to be really good in the future, but are a lot of players going to come back and give it a shot? I feel like one thing that really might hurt this game, even though it's probably a lot different, Need for Speed Unbound is also coming out pretty soon as well. I mean, we're less than a month away from that game releasing. I'm personally really excited to play it, and I am definitely going to be covering that game in and out, so definitely stay tuned for that. But a lot of players might end up moving over to Need for Speed, even though, as I did mention before, they are a lot different. You're not racing these big diesel trucks in Need for Speed, but unlike some things that might be missing and or having an auto-saving issue, but then we're also going to have some AI that really do not care that you even exist. Plus, we also might have some handling issues with some of the vehicles. Now, I do want to mention though, I wouldn't say the handling is going to be awful on Dakar. I personally still find this game to be really fun. I normally ride the bikes more than anything, then I also really like driving the cars, then obviously jumping into the trucks as well. So I do think all the vehicle classes are a lot of fun, but there are some things they probably could tweak. I know you could probably tune your vehicles a bit and or using your analog sticks to actually like balance out the ATVs and or bikes like that would probably make them a little bit better. But I feel like if they did tweak some stuff a little bit more, I feel like the handling on Dakar is probably going to be really good. One of the biggest things I did notice is, I'm not going to lie, once you guys pretty much beat all the events, I really don't see a point of actually doing much of anything else on the game at the moment. Maybe they could add something into multiplayer and or allow everyone to free roam around the map together. Maybe that might increase the replayability. But again, I personally just don't really feel like getting on the game sometimes and doing all the events again, because you only get a little XP, and unfortunately I did do a video about the depth problem on Dakar as well, because there's really no point of leveling up. So maybe they could add some stuff in the future where you might get something for leveling, like even some bonus money, or maybe one of those like spinny lottery things to get a vehicle and maybe go after another free vehicle. That could be something every time you level up, or even a couple of level ups as well. It doesn't have to be every time, but at least giving the players something to really work toward, I think, is going to keep them on the game a lot longer and really make them want to go after some of those cooler vehicles and or those classic cars as well, which I did mention this in a separate video, but can we please get the classic cars in their own vehicle class for sport mode? My goodness, you can basically not even use those in sport mode because all the modern vehicles are basically destroying you every time. But again, all this stuff can be addressed in future patches, and I really feel like it will be. I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with the future of this game, with the roadmap and all that. So hopefully we're going to have some free roam and stuff added into the game soon. I really do hope, as I mentioned before though, I really do hope they can actually get the updates out on every platform at the same time instead of doing like PC 2 weeks early, because what if that patch might not be all that great and then the console players have to look forward to another bad patch or something like that. So hopefully there is a way they can get them out on every platform at the same time. I'm sure something like on Microsoft's side, or with Xbox, and then Sony with PlayStation. I'm sure there's things that have to be reviewed and or looked at, probably for any game for that matter, before they can release a patch. So there might end up being some type of reason why Dakar updates come out first on PC. Maybe it's running the best on there. I really don't know. But again, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments below about this. I really do want Dakar Desert Rally to be a really good game, but one thing I honestly can't stop thinking about is Dakar Desert Rally going to be able to bounce back from that launch, or is it going to be too late?